2, 1.
Good evening. It is Monday, October 11th, and it is 6:05, and this is a meeting of the Finance Committee. With me is Mr. Sievert and Mr. Phillips, and we are here to discuss some fee and schedule increases to keep us competitive with other communities. Mr. Titterington?
I
don't know that,
Salome Hecate is going to,
I don't know that
Okay.
it's actually competitive, but it's
competitive.
in line
It's
with.
These are average, but there are some changes. We wanted to streamline the fee schedule, get some things on there that haven't been on there, but that we've charged, and do some minor updates to the calculation.
This is not going to affect anybody's water bill or sewer bill?
This is not a utility rate discussion at all.
Okay, good deal. Salome?
Hi, Salome Hecate, Management Analyst. So as a routine review, city staff proposes to adjust, modify, and establish new fees. You have detailed report in your packet. One thing I would like to note is that the attachment you received in your packet had a community reinvestment area application listed as $750, but it is $250. It was amended in 2019, so that information has been updated on the handout. I gave it to you before the meeting started. There are some changes in planning and zoning, development department, engineering department, and cemetery fees. Do you have specific questions, or do you want me to just give you a brief update?
Just to backtrack, if I may.
Go ahead.
Backtrack on what you said earlier. My hearing is a little bad, but
So-
you indicated the enterprise zone application fee of $750 is not accurate, or is that-
Community reinvestment area application under development fees.
Yeah, it's just,
So-
it's below, just
Enterprise
below the
zone,
enterprise
yes.
zone. One's
The
right
recertification
column down
fee.
under development, the second section,
The reinvestment?
community
Yes.
reinvestment area application.
Yes,
It's
It
two.
should be 250, not 750, so Salome gave you a new one.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what you were, okay.
yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's all I had. Thank you. Just clarification on that.
Stephen? Anything?
No, I read through them, they're fine. I mean, they're minimal increases that seem to be in line with what should happen, so I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and again, it's not going to affect anybody in the community as far as a basic homeowner who owns a home and has to pay the water bills and all that.
No, those are permit fees mostly and the application fees.
Correct. Anybody else on, Mr. Phillips?
If I may, and this is an extreme generalization, and I don't know whether you or Mr. Titterington can answer this, or even Christie, but if a developer came in with a project, how much more would this fee structure affect them? Oh, God, and I know I'm speaking very broadly because we don't know what the cost of the development is, or the project, or the size of meters, or whatever the things were. But overall, as a percentage or a dollar amount, can we quantify anything, what this would increase, or what the developer would have to additionally pay with these rates? Did we do any work with that
It will be very minimal. If you look at the fee schedule,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the fees had the calculations on them, so now we have a base fees. And if you look at them, it's not a major increase, very minimal increase.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And some of the engineering fees for permits, which had the calculations in them, now it's easier to just pay base fee. And for some, it will be just less than they would have paid. And do you have a specific fee you're concerned about in mind?
No. I was just in a general form, and I know the percentages that you're indicating here in the written documents and all that, I see that. But as far as an actual project, if there had been any looking at what that project would have cost the developer up front, and the fees and the applications and the permit fees and all those things, how much more that would have been, because it's very easy, to put a 1% or 2% or 5% increase on one item, but 5% and 5% and 5% and 5% adds up over time or over the project. So I was just wondering what a total, if that had been done, and I know that that's probably a no.
No, we have not done that specific calculation, but if it will affect, it will be very minimal.
Got it,
Yeah,
okay.
because the water tap-in fees haven't gone up, they're staying the same.
No,
So-
yes.
And then there's where your quote-unquote substantial fees may come in. You may pay, you pay tap based on the size of the meter.
Right,
But when it comes to this fee schedule, when there are development fees, ours are pretty minimal.
okay. All right, thank you.
And one more thing, we are proposing to add additional language under planning and zoning fees, which will note that if the project begins before required planning and zoning fees paid, fees are doubled. So we just want to make it clear on the fee schedule, which will be posted online on the website, that whoever's applying for the permit, zoning and planning permit, they know that if they start work before paying the fees, it will be doubled later.
Adequate warning.
When would these go into effect?
January 1st, 2020.
Okay. Does anybody else on council have any questions?
One minor question here. I was actually kind of surprised how light the fee was for parking in a handicap spot. Is that in line with the community, only $100? I've never thought to look that up myself, but I would have thought that would be a stiffer fine for something along those lines.
It depends on the community. Bigger communities have a higher fees, but we talked to police department that they would like to keep the fee at the $100. And it's
They're
hard to
actually-
compare to bigger cities and other communities because of the size of Detroit. But we did look at the other communities as well. But after talking to police department, that's what they like to have.
What's the columbarium?
So
That
this
is
is-
at the cemetery, that's the
Neat.
shelf and drawer system for ashes.
Okay, so we're gonna charge, we weren't charging for, so now we're gonna offer a smaller drawer for $800. A
So
smaller
We
etch
added a,
for $800 instead of $1,750.
right, I think, what would we do? We split it up.
Yeah, you added a small nameplate, a small glass front, including a nameplate for $800, which we didn't have before. And then we're gonna keep the large one is still.
No, the
running.
800 was there. So what we added was 950 for double. The service was not available, but our
Oh,
cemetery
gotcha.
foreman
So
said.
so it was always 800 and now a
Yes,
double is
yes.
gonna be 950.
Yes,
Okay, I see how you, so your red lines are what's going in on the yellow.
exactly, yes.
So if you'd like to be stored with a loved one, then it's $950 for a double.
Okay, and that's where the ashes after they're cremated go.
Okay.
Is it stored? Anybody else have any questions? Mr. Phillips?
This is not an emergency?
It is not.
Okay, I'm good with, as staff is proposing.
Mr. Seaver?
No problems, move forward.
Let's move forward. Anything else to come before Finance Committee?
No, sir.
We are